All right, hi guys, Madhura here. Thank you so much for joining Money Matters once again. This is Sunday at 3 p.m., which is when we conduct our Money Matters session. If you are new, welcome to Money Matters. This is a show that we do on a weekly basis to bring awareness to different topics about personal finance, business finance, as well as entrepreneurship. So if you're a returning viewer, you have watched any of our previous episodes, please do drop a hello. If you're a new viewer, let us know in the comments as well. I would like to know who are you guys? Are you a student? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you somebody who is an employee? Share with us, because based on who is watching today, we can ask more questions related to your background and your line of work as well. So a quick intro: my name is Madhura. I am the host for Money Matters. Other than that, I'm also the co-founder of Ascendance, as well as the junior director of Simply Empowering, as the video you watched earlier would have mentioned. And one of the reasons I am very excited to host Money Matters is because I am personally someone who made a lot of mistakes in money, because I just refuse to learn from other people's experiences. So, what I want to do is create a platform for all of us to gather and we learn from each other's experiences. I think we have featured, this is our episode 27 or 28, if I'm not mistaken. So, we have had so many guest speakers who come and share their experiences on how they manage their money. And the what I hope for all of you is that you take away something valuable from this, and you'll be able to start making small changes, not just in your personal finance, but also in your business, in your entrepreneurship, or even your employment and whatnot. All of these people have very valuable experiences to learn from, and I hope it benefits you. So we have been doing Money Matters for so long. We have featured so many different speakers. So if you'd like to continue receiving updates, please do follow us on our social media. You can follow me on my social medias, The Real Madhura, Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow Simply Empowering. So Simply Empowering is one of the organizers of Money Matters. We are an outsource accounting company where we provide outsource accounting services as well as business advisory and a lot of other things as well. And also Ascendance. Many of you here are probably watching this session because of Ascendance. So Ascendance is a youth movement and a social enterprise that aims to empower and inspire youngsters out there to follow their heart, figure out what they want to do, and build a career out of it at a very young age. So we hope through these sessions you also learn how to manage this aspect of your life, which is finance. All right, so today's topic is very exciting. I am personally very excited for it because I feel like money, today's topic, building relationships, is something I actually struggle with a lot, and a lot of youngsters also struggle with this, right? When we are young, it's so awkward to build friendships with people. Also at the same time, when we were very young, probably in 5 years old, 6 years old, every place you go to, you'll make a new friend. That's how easy it used to be. So I think there's something we can learn a lot from our younger selves, where we would just walk into a place and become best friends with that person immediately. And through that friendship, we'll learn so many different things. We'll learn a new game, we'll do so many different stuff in literally like 5-10 minutes. So I think it's a trait that we should maintain in our lives as we grow up. But many of us fail to do so. Like, I am someone who feels very awkward to talk to strangers at times. But I think it's something I've been learning on how to overcome this insecurities or nervousness when I talk to people. And one of the best people I have learned from is our guest speaker today. So if you guys don't know, our guest speaker today is Mr. Edward Boy. He is actually the wait, I need to share the sorry guys. Okay, all right, Mr. Edward Boy, he is the founder and CEO of New Wave Synchronizer. I had the opportunity to meet Edward back in 2015. Probably some of you were still in Tadika at that time, but it's okay. So that was some time back when I met him, and at that point in time, I was so mind blown. How can Edward talk to everyone? How is he friends with everyone? And of course, not the first day, but like as I started to work with him and I would like see him interact with his clients, with his teammates, and all of that, I saw that he could build beautiful relationships with people seamlessly. And that is something I've always admired, and something I've developed to some extent by watching him do it as well. So I think it is very important for us to discuss this, and it's a valuable opportunity for us to learn from somebody so experienced in this. So without further ado, let's welcome Edward on screen. Edward.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having
Edward,
me here.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you so much for being a part of Money Matters. I'm so
No
excited.
worries.
I don't know why it took so long to get you on the show, but oh
Yeah, I
well.
didn't realize you've done so many already. I see, wow, so many already you have interviewed,
Yes,
right?
this is episode 28. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. Also, all right. So Edward, I think before I go into the topic of today, like building relationships and whatnot, I like to ask my speakers some questions. It's like a test they have to pass whenever they speak in my show.
Okay, I hope
So
I pass it.
so it's just a
Fingers crossed.
passing requirement is basically you must be truthful and share a very valuable story, very valuable
Okay.
bite of wisdom. So okay, my first question is this, right? All of us make money mistakes. It is inevitable, like Thanos
Okay.
says. But so what was the biggest money mistake that you have made in your life?
Are you? Actually got a few,
Biggest one, Edward. Biggest one. The one that until now you cannot. Sometimes you go like, "Oh my god, how did I make? Like, I'm so dumb. How did I make that mistake?" Do you have anything like that? You can pick one.
God, okay. Maybe a few lah. Okay, similar scenarios that
One.
I'll see. Okay. Okay, in terms of business one, I made a mistake in the sense I think I didn't manage a project properly in terms of client, in terms of expectations. Lah. They asked for something a little bit more complex, but in the sense that we couldn't deliver what was expected. And in the end, he had to, we had to refund the initial deposit of that project lah, that we've
Okay.
done for it. And and the problem at that time was because we are still quite new in terms of, or we do website development and, all, and system. uh, we were also at that time was short of cash as well. So it's like when on top of that you could not deliver and you expect it to finish a project, get the money, but instead you have to pay back to the client of his initial deposit. So that was, I think, is a blunder I made lah, because we couldn't deliver the project properly, and what he asked, we just that time wasn't that technically strong, and we didn't have really a strong team as well at that moment of time. It's probably just me and myself, and and that's when I realized, okay, this all has to change already. If not, uh, that's really screwed up, lah. It's like
Like
you're already
trying
in
to
bad
do it.
situation. Yeah, you're in bad situation, and then they knock you down further some more by returning their money. So it's like, oh shit, that's like, I hope I can survive the next month.
Did you survive it?
Yeah, somehow, luckily, yeah, we have to, starve a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons you are, I mean, you are the best speaker probably to speak at today's event is like you have managed to grow your business to a level where it's so stable now. You have a beautiful team, I feel, as well. At the same time, you have amazing clients as well that who are more than happy to work with you. They appreciate your service. At the same, I think in fact, New Wave Synchronizer is a website app development company that is worth millions. So I'm sure it was not easy to make that amount of growth, have that kind of growth over the past few years, and without building good relationships with the people you work with and whatnot. So I
Yeah,
think that is
yeah.
why it's a very good. You are the best person to talk about.
I,
So
I'll just share what I can.
one more question for the speakers.
Okay.
What is since we talked about mistakes, right? So like, what is one principle that you have started following very closely with regards to money? Like one principle that you try not to waver away from.
Wow. Okay. In terms of money, I think um, get what you really need lah. I think that's important. Number one.
Okay.
And sometimes you cannot. How do I say? If it's something you, in the sense that you need to learn as well, it's okay to invest in that because you are investing it on yourself in terms of learning. So that part is very important because whatever you pay for in terms of that knowledge, it belongs to you. You can never go away. Of course, make sure whatever you get, you need to make sure you make full use of it lah, and not just keep it aside lah. So one
Yep.
moment of time also, I also just get and keep it aside. That is also another mistake I made before lah. But I think what is important, you must keep learning. Like you're okay to invest in that sense for your knowledge too. That you cannot not stinge on. Yeah.
because there is a lot of people who do
Yeah.
stinge on
I
learning.
mean, if you want to learn something, you should go to the expert to pick it up. Not you can try to learn yourself first, but if you're still not solving the problem, then you definitely need to get an expert to assist you or support you on that. Otherwise, you'll be stuck there for don't know how long.
Yep, that makes so much sense. I agree as
Yeah.
well. So a few people are saying hello.
Hello,
So
hello.
all right, there's some even 10-year-old students who are watching today's show. Good job, guys. Let us know who you are. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a student? Let us know who you are as well. So Edward, again, this whole building relationships thing, right? Is it something that you only developed when you started working, or is it something that you have always done? Were you the kind of kid like in what preschool, as I mentioned, who makes a friend wherever you go, or were you the kind of kid who doesn't make any friends when you're younger?
Oh, I'm quite busybody, like say when I was younger. I don't know lah. Maybe people when you're young, I guess you will have you have usually stick to one group of friends, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
had
like
my
that?
my seven eight man group, and that's the
Oh,
only people I talk to.
okay, okay.
So were you
I'm a
like that?
little bit no, I was a bit different. I was young. I like to get to know different groups of people. And it's like I'm friend with this group, but I may not be. I'm also friend with another group, but the other two groups may not be that close to each other. But
Yeah.
I'd be like hang out with this group sometime. I even go to different groups as younger as well, also to hang out with them. So it's like
I cannot imagine that because, like, okay, if you make friends with other people, like other groups, that makes sense. Like, I still did that. I was friends with my whole class in a way, but yeah, people even younger, I wouldn't usually go and talk to them. It's kind of why as a youngster you were doing that? Like, was that what was the
okay. I
excitement
was
behind
much younger than lah because um, whole group was a lot of girls. That's why. That was the full truth. But after that, it was fun then because they started reading certain books I was quite interested in. But
it?
apparently, from the guys, they'll term that as girls' book. They don't really read that. Somehow, I enjoyed that. Then I like, oh, if I mix with these guys, I wouldn't be able to, explore this interest of group because and I didn't realize hey, this is actually quite nice when I read that book. So I
Yeah.
realized when you mix with different people, they have different activities that they do together and interest and you get to also learn a lot more from different people. So I guess it developed from there lah. It doesn't matter who lah. So some friends makes it. We talk about the ancient Chinese history. That's what it,
Oh wow.
I like that. Yeah. Then another group of friends. They like to go out and get some food. So yeah, that will yeah. I enjoy food also. So I enjoy that.
Wow.
so,
Okay. Okay. That
so
just went from one extreme to the other.
yeah,
Ancient Chinese history and then food.
and then there's some with the cool dudes also. I will just go hang out with them as well, and then they are the little bit party. Then you get experience a little bit of that side as well. So
Yeah.
the,
Wow.
the, the
Okay. Okay.
downside is I guess when it progresses to college, it's like you don't really have time. Like it's like from morning you have one group of friends, afternoon another group, and then evening.
Each group wants to hang out, and there's only so much
Yeah,
time you can hang out.
yeah. So sometimes like okay, I'll be here, I'll be another place, and then I'll be
So
and
as you went into college, right? Like, how
mm,
did you still go all out and were hanging out with these people? Did that affect your time? And because like that is something a lot of people look at, right? Especially as youngsters or like with
mm.
our parents, like, hey, why are you spending so much time with your friends hanging out? Why aren't you studying? You know, that kind of thing will come up. So it's like, was that a problem for you? Like, were you having issues with time because you were hanging out with so many different people?
I think it's keeping a balance as well lah, in that sense. Um, you need to also have time for what you say family time because
Yep.
luckily I study nearby, so it's quite easy. But the challenge, that's a challenge. The interesting part when I studied that was morning was my class. Sometimes I have like this morning at my class, evening is another next class. So what are you gonna do in between, right? So
Yep.
and also you can't also be hanging out with so often also. You cannot also do that. So the challenge that part also was like if you hang with too many groups also you tend to run out of money, right? Very fast as
Yep.
well. So I took some part-time jobs as well in between that is relate to what I also like lah. So one is I learned about because it's in college, right? They have a marketing department, so I just spend some time there in between the hours to get some money, and then after work sometimes I will do. I work at a restaurant, so I like dim sum, so I work at a dim sum restaurant. So it's like you get to enjoy dim sum, you get paid. So with that money, then you balance things out in terms of like the activities I do lah as well, rather than
Yeah.
instead of asking money from the parents all the while, right?
Okay,
So
that is something not many of us will entertain the thought of. Like, I used to run out of money all the time, but I never thought of going and getting a part-time job to cover the expenses. So that is a good, valuable thing. So since this is money matters, right? Did having building the relationship with so many groups of people, especially you mentioned like you had a very diverse group of friends. You had the ones who were ancient history, the ones who are going partying, the ones who are just having food, the ones who probably just worked or studied all the time. I'm sure you had all kinds of friends. So having this diverse group of friends, how did it influence you? Because just like with anything, your friends influence your habits. So I'm
mm,
especially with personal finance. I think your friends influence how you manage your money, how you deal with money, and all of that. So if you
yeah.
have so many influences, how did it affect your finances? Like your view on personal finance in a way.
Um, I feel from this also we get a lot more different exposure in terms of experience. Number one, like when I was much younger, even having these different group of friends, some of them is pretty well off as well. So from young as well, also they bring me to nice places that I don't realize it later on. They say, "Oh, you've been to that places." Oh, okay. Oh, so this it's like you didn't realize it lah. They go to very nice restaurants to eat when
Yeah,
I was young because we do group study as well. Last time I was younger, some groups, but they were well off, but the parents will bring me out also to eat together as I grow up. So I think it's in terms of money part, I guess some part is you realize you experience things faster, I guess, number one. And number two, in terms of the money, I know why I get the part-time job is because I cannot be keep asking money from my parents. Like
yep,
I realize that you need to somehow get something in you have to earn lah from you have to earn somehow or work for it in order to achieve something lah. From what
yep.
I see from some of these friends. I think that's the part that is important. Like you need to work for it as well. I think that
Mm,
seems to have developed from there.
mm. I like that you said because you had that exposure to this group of people who were well to do, they were able to go to these kind of restaurants and all that. That it does influence how you view money. So it's like and I'm sure you had other friends who probably had the issue of not having enough money
Yeah,
and or like just enough money, all kinds of scenarios. So when you experience all of it, you kind of like the emotion behind it goes away, which is what I've
mm.
personally have felt like when you see the ones who don't have it, then the ones who have it, and then you go through all of it. But then at one point you'll be like, oh, whatever lah, it's
Whatever
just
goes,
money,
right?
it's
I
just
think
money
it's
we
more like
manage.
the what is the experience you want in it lah. When you see so many different people how they grew up, right? It's you have to pick what you want to experience as well lah. I think
Yep.
that's important. And in terms of like you said, not getting influenced. There were groups of people when I was younger also they were into those, join the gang, you have to join certain gang. So
Yeah.
luckily I know what is right and wrong. I didn't follow them. There were a group also they were doing not so nice stuff in school, supposed to which luckily I didn't also follow. I was just getting to know them and that's about it. And
So so one of the like I think last episode when we had Caroline and Sanat sharing on how they took the first step in finances and all, one of the biggest issues that anyone, even including me, I face as well is peer pressure. So
okay,
it's
okay.
like you feel pressured to spend on this, you feel pressured to buy this because you see someone around you getting it, all of that. And you mentioned you didn't get influenced, you kind of like stayed away from certain things and all that. So how did you develop that ability to kind of like manage the peer pressure? Because especially if you have so many peers that you're surrounding yourself with, how do you manage that thing? Because I can
That's
imagine the struggle will probably be more for you with so many friends and all that.
that's a very good question. Is that I think just be who you are and genuinely tell them what are your principles are. Lah. I think that's what you pick your experience basically. I think you actually have a choice. Most people think we don't have a choice, but
Yep.
actually we do have a choice. Just say, hey, this is what I'm into, but I'm not into that. Just let them know. Don't have to. You don't have to comply. In the sense that if just because they do that, you have to follow exactly as well, right?
Yep.
just pick what is right for you lah. That is important lah, I think.
Yep.
And enjoy and make sure you keep learning and enjoy. Pick the best because I realize for all the different people, there will always be a light in all of them. That means to say that there will always be positive trait. Just take the positive trait and experience that positive things. That is something different for you.
Yep.
I feel that should be the
I
way.
like that. It's
Yeah.
about, I like that you said communicate it, because
Yeah.
many times, like even for me, I used to struggle a lot when my friends would want to go for like cafes, and I'm like, I barely have 10 ringgit to go to this cafe, I cannot afford it. But for longest time I would just keep quiet, and like either it's a complete no or a yes, and then blow a hole in my wallet kind of thing.
Mm,
So I like what you said about like it's your experience, you don't need to comply, you can always tell them that what is the truth,
mm.
like whether I can do it, this is what I would like to
Yeah.
do. Maybe can we
Or
try
if
this?
yeah, if you really want it, then you have to work for it. Like
Yep.
example, in college time there was the party group. You want to party means you spend more, right? So you work extra. Then after you like after a while, I don't think I want it. I cannot be going this often anymore.
Yep. So I
But
think
at
for
least
as I,
yeah, at least I've
sorry,
been
sorry,
through it
go ahead.
and went through it and okay, that's good enough for me.
Yep. I like that. Like many times also we will like give up, like, oh, I can't do this. I like what
Mm,
you said of like take the effort lah. Maybe you need to find a way to earn money to
mm.
experience those things, which is also a very very good trait to have, I feel, at a very young age. You cannot discount your dreams because you feel like you have no money. You need to
Yeah, yeah,
find solutions to make the money and then experience those things. So
yeah.
very nice, Edward. Okay, so building relationships, I like how you did it in school, and like it did open up your mind and kind of like, broke a lot of perceptions and all of that. But like, did this come in handy when you started working, like actually, I don't know, working as an employee as well as actually running the business and all of that? How did this uh, childhood habit actually help you out or derail you from your work?
Okay, in terms of working, I think it did help in a way because I graduated in IT, so I work in an IT company. My first
Yeah.
first two jobs are, but I will it seems to carry forward as well on the people I hang out. So of course, if I'm in IT, everyone does IT, right? You'll be separated by department. But
Yeah.
I'm able to hang out with the sales people. I hang
Oh,
out with the HR people and all and that's where I realized, oh, this you can actually learn different things as well. The sales people will share about what's happening outside, and then oh, got project coming, okay. So then after when I hang out with the HR people, hey, got bonus, or then they, I mean, you be nice with them lah, talk to them as a
yeah.
friend lah, not purposely just in that sense you want to get that information. But I realized when I talk to them and hang out with them, that's where you learn different things as well again. So coming to that in terms of working that was fun lah, that period of time in a sense because sometimes the salespeople they are very free. So when I'm working in between them, they will say, hey, you wanna go down for a quick drink? Can. Then I just go out and then I have a quick drink with them and I go back to work. But the those who are in the programmer, I mean that time in that department, nobody really goes out in between. So I sometimes go lunch with them, sometimes I'll go lunch with different people from different departments. So that seems
Okay,
to have
here's the thing,
developed
Edward.
that.
I my experience with employment is not that much. I think because
Mm,
I started Ascendance and Simply Empowering, it's not the traditional employment. But I did do internship at this one company, and literally I had dinner. I mean lunch alone most of the days, 90% of the days, and then some days I was forced to have lunch with the team. But that was it. I barely like how do you go out and make friends with the salesperson, the HR person, and everyone in the how do you do that? Like most people, like, oh, I'm in IT team. The worst case scenario is I'll have lunch with the IT team. How did you build that relationship with so many different people? Like how do you make it happen?
just talk to them lah. I think just talk to them and just say, hey, you go lunch, just go with them lah. Just ask for ideas for lunch, and then just like I say, just be busybody.
Okay, so I think that the takeaway is be a busybody.
No lah, I mean you have to be genuinely interested in talking to them and hearing out because everyone will have their own story or their ideas or their what you call it, their passion or whatever it is that
Yeah.
they're on. And that would be interesting to know as well. Everyone will always have their story. So why not get to know people? I think that what are their struggles, what are their challenges, how they work things out, those kind of things. Everyone will go through this kind of things. So it's always nice to talk to different people, though you can learn different experiences as well.
Yeah.
So because if you are always in the same boat, you will get the same experience. Of course, it's good for you as well in terms of, let's say your in terms of your line of work, having that same mindset is important as well, because that's where certain technology you learn, you need to pick up from there. Then that's one area of life that you need to learn as well, right? So it's just not only one angle you look at. I think life you can look at it in different angles. So that's where it is fun to do that, lah. so
Wow. This is too deep.
so
I cannot. I like that. I think one thing that personally I used to struggle with is like there's a we have like this pressure on ourselves, like, oh, we must be the friendly person who makes friends. A lot of us think that's what these things are all about. But I like what you said about it's genuinely being interested in people because they
mm,
have the different background, the different story, the different experience. And if you genuinely are interested, it will be very, very easy for you to have that conversation.
yeah.
One of our audience says, yes, Edward asked a lot of questions. Yes, every time you sit with Edward, he won't stop talking. He'll have something to ask you about. He'll be like, how was this? How was that? Worst case scenario, we talk about food. He always says something. You always have something to talk about, which is very, very interesting. But like, okay, in that is like at work, right? You get to really meet different people, and I'm sure that brings you a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have, or like
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep,
other
yep.
employees don't have. How does it play a role in business?
Business as well. I mean, it's not only the business owner you need to know. I mean, or getting to know them as a person. Yes, you were there sometimes for business, but at the same time, get to know them personally. I can actually go there to a business owner, or even go to his place for dinner as well once before.
Hmm.
So at one moment of time, I was working closely with this project with these few people. So every week we'll go to their place, they'll cook for me, and then we'll have makan there, and then we discuss about the project. So it's like really getting to know even to their family sometimes. and and some of them, I also know they're like top down staff. I know their IT people, their HR department, their accounts department, and it's just talking to them and just getting to know everyone. So it's it's I say there's many things to learn, even more even in terms of another person in terms of doing business with them. So then you also know also the situation of the company as well sometimes, and you see what angle you can also help them, or either what are their needs that they don't see as well sometimes. I know we do website, but that is also understanding sometimes their business as well a
Yeah.
little bit better. So then it's more fun lah, makes the work more fun as well.
I like that you said by actually finding out, talking to more people, the other teams in the company and all that, you really do get an understanding of your client. Because
Mm.
one of the things that I think is you do very well is connecting people. Um, Personally for me, like I've experienced when in Ascendance, even in Simply Empowering, you have connected us to people who need our services
Mm.
because you took the effort to find out what are they doing, what is their needs, and then you see another contact of yours who has this. You A lot of people think you have to go to a networking platform to do this, but you do it every day, like it's a part of your life. So I think I like how you said that you connect the things and it really helps a lot of other people to come together, like in Ascendance. You connect us to so many corporate partners, people who are willing to support the young because you just genuinely have that conversation, which is quite unique. But by doing this, right, did it help you in any way other than yes, you get to learn, but other a
Definitely
lot of
helped me
people,
as well. I mean, so one example in terms of helping me, I guess one is the business lah. Some of them they recommend me people,
yep,
uh, to one of the client with we are quite close with. At one moment of time, I really wanted to go to Japan, but I couldn't afford it at that moment of time.
yep.
And so happened one of the client we service is in the travel line, and they specialize in bringing people to Japan. So one day they were invited to go to Japan, and then we were like, hey, and then he said, oh no no, my people is free and we are very busy. You want to go or not? "Oh, why not?" So he said, but only you can go lah. I mean, but you meet other people there. I said, okay lah, why not? Let's just go and experience it. And I joined the trip. Also, it's like and even during that trip, it was also fun because then you get to meet different travel agents and you talk to them, and we make more new friends. And then once in the airport also, we was talking, and they said, "Hey, I arrived there earlier lah." One thing, and they a few of the people that I just met there, the travel agent, they asked, "Hey, you tried before? I think there was an upgrade to a better class for the Japan airline." So I said, "Oh, never." Then, "Oh, you want to try?" Or not? Can. So we got an upgrade also on top of that free trip.
What?
So yeah, so that in a way fulfilled one of my, I would say my, what's that? My dream to travel to Japan and to experience
Yep.
Japan, and it was all like all fully sponsored. Like you get to enjoy hot spring. I always wanted to enjoy hot spring, and Japan food, and mix it. They bring you to experience to talk to Japanese people, and experiencing the whole trip. Lah. So everything was fully covered. Lah.
Amazing, amazing. Because
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
like that. A lot of us have like the different kind of goals we have. We feel like it's a very linear way to get it. Like I must
Mm.
work until I die for the next 10 years, and then I'll save up the money, and then I'll go to a place that I want to go. But I like what you said. Like you just genuinely had good relationships with people. You built your business with a lot of passion and all of that. It eventually led you to even fulfilling the other goals you had,
Yeah.
which is really really nice to see.
I
I'm
think
so
it's important to set your goals right lah and put that out lah that you really
yeah,
want. I mean, don't go and don't say, hey, please send me. You cannot, it doesn't work that way.
bro, can give me free stuff. It's not about getting free stuff, guys.
Yeah. You just make sure you just do your work. Also focus on goal at the same time. Like I said, being friendly. A second one that I get was also experiencing a trip to Google. They have this thing called market immersion. So another travel agent company was invited to go to US, and we were servicing that client as well. So they were invited to go there to experience Silicon Valley. So it's like you get to see all the different tech company there, and then one of them was Google lah. So that was also pretty fun, and yeah, I managed to make a trip there lah. It was also sponsored, but okay, but partially. But this time at least I pay for my air ticket, which is still fair, which is still
Yeah,
nice. Everything other than that over there is all covered lah. So that
amazing.
part was, yeah, another dream is covered.
Okay, so there's a question. Do you ever find it time consuming or leche to get to know so many people? I think the answer is
Mm,
kind of obvious for Edward, but still.
no, I mean
No.
it's nice to always meet new people lah. I mean the same people also is also interesting to maintain the relationship as well. But don't treat it as leche lah, because every day we experience different things. So sometimes they will also have updates to let you know what's happening. You know?
Yep.
But at the same time, all these relationship that you build, don't, how do I say, don't abuse that in a sense. If you say that you're gonna meet them or do something for them, also make sure you keep up to the time. You can get very friendly with people, but
Yep.
make sure you just keep your timing and what you have agreed to do lah. Otherwise, then you're abusing the friendship also. So that's like, it's like keeping up to your own bargain to your own self also.
Yeah, I think one of the audience did ask about how to build professional relationships. So it's like in business, yes, you can be friends with them. You really care about them and get to know them and all of that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your work, you do that to the point. Like you don't mess that up, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
if you do make mistakes, which is kind of normal, I think if you took the effort to build the relationship, handling your mistake is going to be much easier.
I think most important you have to be honest what's happening. Lah. If there is
Yep.
issues on delivery, then you just let them know what has happened and explain it properly. Don't just keep it in the dark lah, and
Okay.
just being
Okay.
honest with them. Lah.
Yep. Yep. Have that talk and like be honest with the people you work with. Okay. So to summarize, right, Edward, can you give us one takeaway for people who are students here, because I think a lot of them who watch Money Matters are students. One takeaway for students, and of course, another big group of following for Money Matters is entrepreneurs. So, one takeaway for each group, like what should be the first action we should be taking now, literally after this episode. Like, go do the thing.
I think catch up, okay, with the business, just catch up with one of your client that you haven't catch up for a while. It could be a simple Zoom call, but not necessarily business, or even invite them for tea. Just be safe with SOP as well, and just be genuinely seeing how they are, because um, everyone's affected by COVID, right? I mean, for the situation.
Yep.
So I think they should at least just see how's their situation, whether they're okay now, and see whether you can help them out in that sense, or just being there for them. I think that's one thing you can do for now. And
Even I'm
other than
thinking,
that,
oh
is
God, I have to
yeah.
go and talk to one of my clients today. Okay, fine.
Even for student, I think don't be afraid to talk to people and just get to know people. Different people will all have their own stories to learn, and there's so much more for you to learn other than just studies. I mean, study is important, but maintaining that at the same time, everyone has their story. Even your teachers, maybe your teachers can have their own stories to share with you. How are they like? Why did they end up here?
Yeah,
Once you understand their situation, maybe you understand why sometimes they are like who they are today. Then that's where you will be able to, how to say, you're experiencing people's experience through them. So that's a fun thing, I think, that you should be doing.
I love that. I love that. I think one of the things in Ascendance that we do encourage a lot of students to do is to talk to their teachers. Because a lot of us, we only know our teacher as the one who scolds us if we don't bring a book. More other than that, we don't know if they have kids. We don't know what is their day-to-day life other than us. Like we think our world, their world revolves around us. That's what most of us think when it comes
Mm,
to teachers. But they have a life. So by taking the effort to find out more about them, we would
yeah.
understand much better. Very nice. Thank you so much, Edward. I think I personally had a lot of sessions, guys. Sessions, a lot of lessons, guys. If you have a takeaway, please do drop it in the comments. I think if each of us, as Edward said, share our experiences and learn from other people's experiences, we can grow much
Mm.
faster. So do drop it in the comments. What was one takeaway, and which one are you going to be taking action on? I think Edward shared a few things that we can take actions on. Action on. I think I'm gonna, as much as it hurts me to say this, I'm gonna try to talk to one of my clients. I
Yeah,
am
like some
scared.
clients, I like to have burger with them, so you can do that first, beat your own interest first. Yeah.
Burger. Okay, now it's getting a bit more tempting. But I'm still scared to go and talk to my client. It's okay, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna talk to you after this, Edward. Okay. So thank you so much, Edward. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, you are the best person to talk to about this topic, and I love that the experiences that you shared. So thank you so much for taking your time to join us today.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here, also.
Yes. All right. See you soon, Edward. We'll bring you
See
back
you.
another time on Money Matters.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
So that was Money Matters, guys, with Edward. I think you guys can see how it was such a smooth conversation. I didn't have to worry about anything. I'm sure all of you became best friends with Edward in the chat box. So you can see that this is what we can do if we take the effort to have a conversation without having so much of fear or expectations and all of that. Just build genuine relationships with people. We can grow a lot, not just through the experiences, but also the opportunities that will come your way if you do it. So thank you so much, Edward. If you like today's topic, or if you have watched any other previous Money Matters topic and you'd like to continue watching these epic episodes, because come on, let's admit, Money Matters is amazing. You should definitely subscribe to Money Matters. All right. So what if you subscribe? Do not worry, I'm not going to charge you anything, but you will get very reminders whenever we have an episode. You get the link directly on your WhatsApp or your email. So do subscribe to Money Matters so that you do not miss any of the episodes. But if you want more, you want to be a part of a community where people are constantly learning, you want access to not just topics related to money, but also learning from entrepreneurs, people, entrepreneurs from different countries. You want to learn through youngsters or like the healthcare workers and all of that. You want to learn from different people's experiences. As Edward mentioned, it's very, very important. You can definitely join Ascendance now for just 150 ringgit per year. If you calculate 150 ringgit per year, it's about 10, 12 ringgit per month, which is cheap, guys. Come on, it's cheap. So all you have to do is join Ascendance to be a part of this very, very nice community. And I welcome all of you to be a part of it, to join us, because I feel like together we can learn a lot. And in this platform, you will definitely get access to a lot of different events, a lot of different communities, a lot of different content that will benefit you. So if you're interested, you can click on the link in the chat box for Join Ascendance now. All right. So thank you so much once again. Hope you guys had a good session today. And I'll see you guys next week on Money Matters. We have a very, very exciting episode next week. A little bit of teaser to some of you. If you're a parent, you should definitely watch this. If you're a child who has a parent, drag your parents to watch this episode, because I think personal finance and financial literacy is something that should start very, very young. And this person started with their kid as young as 3 years old. Can you even imagine? I didn't even hold money at 3 years old. I ate the money when I was 3 years old. So if you want to learn about money, do come and join us. And if you want your parents to understand like how they can teach you about money, please invite them to watch as well. If you know any uncle, aunties, teachers, invite them to watch as well. It's going to be a really, really good episode. To find out more about that, stay tuned on our social media. Once again, you can follow me on The Real Madura. All right. Thank you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Do share this episode with your friends and family. And if you like this episode, leave us a review on our Facebook page, facebook.com/simplyempowering. Money Matters is where we aim to provide valuable content to inspire and empower you on your money matters. Thank you once again for watching this episode, and see you guys at the next one.